Hello YouTube and welcome to another spontaneous SpongeBob SquarePants episode review. Just now I watched an episode I'd never ever heard of. Resultantly, I thought, it can't be too bad. I've never seen this in anybody's lists of worst ever episodes. But it should be. This horrendously bad. I'm not going to swear because my videos are family friendly. Oh dear. This is Model Sponge. Okay, so I'm just going to play it from here.
You're nothing! Is all that grime meant to scare me, Mr. Mirror? I've met sardines tougher than you are!
So we start off, for no obvious reason, with SpongeBob shouting at a mirror as he's about to clean it with himself. Yeah, okay, I'll just roll with that.
Looking good, Mirror. Sorry about the harsh words. Now to attack these fours!
Are you kidding? He's an absolute treasure to have around the restaurant.
Oh, sounds like Mr. Krabs is bragging about me again to his associates.
And he's been with me for such a long time now.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid I'm gonna have to let the little guy go today.
Yep, he's gonna have to what?
So, now Mr. Krabs overhears a conversation from... now SpongeBob hears a conversation from Mr. Krabs, thinks he's being fired, and he runs away. Well, he doesn't run away initially. He initially thinks maybe the little guy is Squidward and uses his irritating, sometimes present technique of expanding his body size to make himself the big one and Squidward the little one.
Wait! We haven't measured with my legs at full extension yet!
I don't care! Now get back in the kitchen!
Weird, considering how he considers Squidward his best friend, that he's now making him bigger than Squidward, so that Squidward gets sacked instead of him. Such good friends, you know! And we get a load of filler, again. Then Squidward is characteristically mean. Unlike some episodes I've reviewed, well, one episode I've reviewed, where he just didn't seem to care less about SpongeBob getting fired. Now he's actually characteristically happy.
Goodbye, Krusty Krab. Goodbye, life as I know it.
Yeah, as much as I don't like doing it, I have to let him go. Gotten too big for his cage.
So now it's revealed that the thing being let go is in fact Mr. Krabs' pet clam.
Gotten too big for his cage.
Because, yeah, it's too big for its cage.
Fly away to be missed.
Oh, what's the use, Gary? I've lost the will to go on!
So, SpongeBob has lost the will to go on. Yay! This is such fun, isn't it, kids? He thinks he's been sacked from his job, and he's lost his will to continue with life. Fun, fun, fun! And now, who should he meet? After crying, in more filler. But his best pal, Patrick, who's stealing his fridge
Oh, sorry
and his
to interrupt
food.
your fit of self-loathing, SpongeBob. I'm just borrowing your refrigerator again.
He's just stealing his food, and he doesn't seem to care that his best friend is depressed and crying or anything. Nope, I'm just gonna steal his food.
What happened to yours?
Nothing. It's just empty.
Don't get it out of my sight! Now that I have no means of purchasing food for myself, I do not need a refrigerator.
See? SpongeBob is he's just decided he's going to starve himself to death. Because he has no purpose, but fun for kids.
Well, don't get down on yourself, buddy. You can still purchase food for me.
Oh, no, I can't, Patrick. I lost my job today. I won't be able to buy food for you, or for Gary, or for anybody.
Oh, no! What are you gonna do?
I don't know! I've been a fry cook for so long, I don't think I could do anything else.
I know, SpongeBob. Just do what I do when I'm looking for a job.
So now Patrick tells SpongeBob what he does when he's looking for a job, and basically just describes what a slob does when a slob's not looking for a job.
Kick back, watch some TV, and chug down a carton of drinkable sausage.
I'm sure there's a dirty pun in there. Even if there isn't, it's lazy humour. I'm not laughing. Not at all!
There hurt to be some job openings in the classifieds. Boo! Although these ads smell a little out of date. I better get some fresh ones.
Ha ha. So now we have some more filler, showing SpongeBob destroy money and turn it into a money patty, and get sacked. Then we see him become a builder in his other job, and make a Krabby Patty
I told you
house.
to build me a house, not a sandwich.
Notice something. When they have kicked out, a mysterious crane-like tower appears in the place of the house. But where the house that looked like a patty was, there was no crane-like tower thing. So this just appears in place of the house when they get kicked away for no obvious reason. I give up with this episode already, but unfortunately we're only not even halfway through. So, SpongeBob sees this advert for a job for a sponge on a billboard. So, SpongeBob goes over to have an audition to be a sponge model in a commercial, as they call them over there, and right. Oh dear. He decides to show his talent as singing in the auditions, which for some odd reason in this episode is much worse than normal, and it's not normally good.
When you dream upon a wish, you'll be heartened to know that hope fills your dish to the brim.
All right, thank you, I've heard enough.
Oh no, she took the word right out of my mouth.
How'd I do?
Horribly. I've seen clams with more talent than you. But since the role specifically calls for a real sponge, the part is yours. We start shooting tomorrow at 10, don't be late.
So, because the job specifically called for a real sponge, I guess this means that in a job specifically advertised on the billboard for sponges, that everyone else who's a sponge, that lots of other sponges didn't apply, that he wouldn't simply have been put on a shortlist compared with several other sponges. Why is it that if a job is advertised for sponges, but they would just give it to the first random sponge who turns up? That's not how it works. Well, it might be how it works underwater, but that's not how it would work in real life. Gah!
I'm gonna be a star!
So they give him the script, and he fantasises about being a star.
I'm standing here with the new face of television, Mr. SpongeBob SquarePants.
I'm sure the viewing audience would love to know. How does it feel to be the next big thing?
Fantastic.
Actually, I'm not sure if he's supposed to be hallucinating this stuff or not. So SpongeBob basically just repeats himself for a bit.
Afternoon, boyo.
Just as I was saying, I'd like to thank you for giving me my humble start. I won't forget ya.
What was that about? Probably just nonsense and babbling as usual.
And then he meets Mr. Krabs, who, for some odd reason, doesn't comment on the fact that, presumably for about a week, SpongeBob hasn't been working. And, I mean, I know that SpongeBob thinks he's been fired, but Mr. Krabs doesn't know that SpongeBob thinks he's been fired. And Mr. Krabs hasn't called up SpongeBob to ask where he's been, which is odd, considering Mr. Krabs' money obsession. You'd have thought he would have done. Now, and here he is, completely unconcerned with why his top employee that brings all of the customers in, who actually cooks the food, hasn't been in for the past week or so. I mean, what is going on with this guy? So he turns up at BBTV, which sounds oddly similar to BBC, and, well, so he gets on set, and
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. Director.
Very well.
they make the director look as terrifyingly creepy as possible.
Loose the pants!
Not the pants! Anything but losing the pants!
Hans! Where's my star?
Oh no! Hans the Hand!
What's happening? What's happening?
In this scene, you'll be cleaning bathroom fixtures.
Hang on. SpongeBob knows what's happening because they said in the audition, or after the audition, that he will be given a script. He knows what's happening. Why is he asking what's happening? He was given a script which he must have read to know what to do in this commercial. You don't just go up to something having not read the script. He knows what's happening. Why is he saying what's happening?
Okay, so where's my cleaning utensil?
Don't you get it? You are the cleaning utensil.
New sponge commercial. Take one.
So hang on. This is a commercial for sponges, starring a sponge who isn't the product that they're advertising, because that would imply that they're selling living civilians. I was going to call them human beings. I'll say living poriferans then. You are selling your buddies, but if you're selling them as cleaning utensils, and you're using a big hand there, does this mean you're actually cutting up your poriferan buddies? You're cutting them up and then using them in your kitchen. My goodness, these fish! This is just a psycho society.
Oh no, your bathroom is a disaster. Get it cleaned up fast with the new sponge.
Which is not SpongeBob.
Household chores are a snap with new sponge. It cleans sinks. Just look at that shine.
Again, these writers on SpongeBob at the moment seem to think that we enjoy being grossed out by all this grime and yuck on our main character. Much like they seem to think that we would enjoy the Splinter. I'm not even going to mention that episode because everything about it was vomit-inducing. This is just gross.
The toughest grime and grit. New sponge also cleans showers. That tile looks good as new. But best of all, new sponge can make any toilet sparkle.
Again, why would you put a living being of roughly similar intelligence to you, presumably, or at least sentient being, who's basically a civilian, through this level of torment, rather than just use the new sponge product that you're actually advertising. I mean, I've reviewed several adverts on YouTube on my channel, and all of the adverts I've reviewed have actually been, well, generally, aside from the one where a guy got his head bitten off by a killer whale, which had nothing whatsoever to do with the product, they've generally been to do with the actual product. This is ridiculous. None of the adverts have involved a giant hand picking someone up and using them as a utensil and then selling the utensil. I mean, the closest thing to that would be the Welch's purple grape juice advert, where there are a bunch of contortionists and gymnasts wearing purple, what are they called, things? Cat suits, I don't know, and pretending to be grape juice in a glass. But they're not being drunk by a giant person and swallowed like grape juice is. Thus, you would not torture a sponge by... for crying out loud. There's no point putting logic into this. I'm just gonna carry on playing it. Again, SpongeBob was doing something almost as gross as this with the mirror at the start of the episode. So why does he find this so much more gross? Still, I think I'm going to be sick.
I can't do this! I'm sorry. I don't think I'm cut out for acting.
Boss, you said you are a professional actor.
Why did he say this?
I'm not. I am a fry cook.
So SpongeBob lied to get a job. That's just what you want, kids. There's a good lesson for you. Lie and you will get a job. But at least it was an unpleasant job. So it does show you the moral of lying doesn't pay. Always. So anyway.
That's what I am. And that's what I've always been. I'm sorry to waste your time, mister. Wait! Wait!
So that guy angrily screams, "Wait!" So you're probably thinking, like in several other episodes, he's going to pursue him and there's going to be anarchy. Nope. Never in it again. Let's just, come on, we're almost at the end. SpongeBob goes back to the Krusty Krab and...
So gently.
Mr. Krabs! Please take me back! Please! I promise I'll do better!
Again, Mr. Krabs does not mention that he didn't actually fire SpongeBob. He just uses the same amount of dishonesty he's applied before in episodes like One Course Meal. Except not as evil.
I heard you on the phone saying you were gonna let the little guy go. But I don't want to go. Please don't let me go, Mr. Krabs. You're looking at a little guy that doesn't want to go.
Ha, he's sad.
All right, boyo. I won't get rid of you. On one condition.
Oh, boy! This is the best job in the world.
Hey, would you keep it down in there? I'm trying to concentrate.
Ha. Hans the Hand is on the toilet. That is just so anatomically incorrect that it's funny.
It's not funny, it's not funny, it's not funny, it's not funny, it's not funny! It's not funny!
What is this show thinking? I mean, for crying out loud, what kind of message is it at the end? I mean, Mr. Krabs lies to SpongeBob by implying that he actually was going to fire him, and that the only way SpongeBob will not be fired is to clean the loo. What? This episode had absolutely no funny moments at all. much like Dear Vikings, which I still need to get around to reviewing at some point in the not too distant future, probably, hopefully, maybe. But there is just, what is wrong with the people who made this episode? I have no idea. I can only assume they went to John Colley for creative advice, because of... Actually, no, John Colley has nothing to do with SpongeBob, but if he did, it would be even worse than it is, at the moment. Well, I say that. I do actually like quite a lot of new SpongeBob episodes, it's just... these ones, yeah. The fact that I haven't seen this in anyone else's top 10 worst lists is a real shame, because it should be. Problem is, though, they're getting to a point now where they just don't seem to care about making good episodes. They don't seem to care about giving good morals. They don't seem to care about any of this. And that's tragic. I'm the Disgruntled Reviewer, and this is one of the worst SpongeBob episodes I've ever seen. It's not as bad as the other two I've reviewed, and it's not as bad as the one I'm going to review next. Somehow.